Hi everyone, Hervin here. In this video, I want to share with you a quick storytelling lesson that I learned that has allowed me to become a better storyteller. This lesson has allowed me to tell better stories, and so I wanted to share it with you in case you are somebody who wants to get better at telling stories. Now, this video is for people who are awkward, they stink at telling stories. It's not for the people who are already really good at telling stories. There's not going to be here information that's going to blow your mind if you already are an amazing storyteller. On the other hand, if you are somebody who doesn't know how to tell stories very well, but you want to get better, there's going to be some basics, some foundational content here that'll help you out. Okay, so let's dive in. So I wasn't a naturally gifted storyteller. I still think there's a lot of improvement that I have a lot of improvement to make in this area, which is why I'm making these videos consistently, is because I want to improve at the skill of storytelling. As a kid, I remember there were some uncles that I had that were very charismatic, and they would always capture everybody's attention during, say, a dinner or something like that with telling stories. Or eventually later on, when I became a dance instructor and I needed to teach certain things, I needed to tell stories there. And so more and more, this is something, storytelling has been something that has intrigued me. Eventually, when I got into business, storytelling has helped me when it comes to selling our products, selling my vision, when it comes to making sales, when it comes to making videos that sell our program or video tutorials that teach something. Storytelling is an extremely useful skill. And yeah, learning this lesson that I am going to share with you has helped me tremendously. So let's dive in. I learned this lesson from this person called Russell Brunson. He is a marketer. He is also an amazing storyteller. And the way he breaks down stories was the first time that ever clicked for me. So I wanted to pass this on to everybody. Okay, so the first thing to know is that stories whenever you're telling a story, it's not like somebody sitting there and just randomly telling a story and then it makes sense and people getting enthralled or captured by it, and they're able to captivate people and they're just kind of rambling and speaking out of like nonsense. That's not how you tell stories. Stories, for those of you watching who are kind of very logically driven or logically inclined, stories are actually, even though they make people feel things, they make people feel emotions if you do it well, they're actually very logical. They have a structure to them. Just like music, when you're listening to music, like if you don't know anything about music, it just sounds like people are doing magical stuff and like somehow making it work. But there's actually music, especially like pop music, has a very specific structure that it follows. The same thing with stories. Stories have a structure to them. And that's what I am going to speak about here. It's just that stories have a structure. And if you didn't know that, just knowing that helps you out when it comes to telling stories, because now you can start to learn the structure behind it. Once you understand the sort of like the mechanism, the way stories are built, then you're able to practice the skills. Then it becomes like any other thing that you can practice and get better at. Okay, so the most basic story structure is the 3-act, and if you ever Google this, that's the first thing it's going to come up. So it kind of just goes something like this, like, there is any story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? So act 1, 2, and 3. That is like the basic story. You could also think about it in this way: setup, conflict, resolution. Okay, so that is another way, like people would say the 3-act structure is just like setup, conflict, resolution. So I was here, then an alarm went off. I didn't know what it was. And then I looked to my left and I realized that it was a car that had gone off. That's a story. It had 3 parts. I was shopping around. This thing fell, right? So I was shopping around is number 1, act 1. Then somebody yelled on the other aisle. Boom. Number 2. Now it's like, okay, what is it? And then number 3, I actually woke up from my dream and realized that I wasn't even shopping. Okay, so that's a 3-act structure right there. That just knowing that, like if I were to say, I went to shop around and I bought a pizza, that's not necessarily a structure. There isn't 3 parts to it. That's not necessarily a structure. Instead, it's like I went to shop around, I didn't know what I wanted to eat, and then I ended up rushing and just getting a pizza. That is a story, right? I was shopping around. I didn't know what I wanted to eat. That's the conflict. And then I shopped, and then in a rush, I just grabbed a pizza and just went out of there. Even though like the story has no point, some like stories don't necessarily need to have a point, but they do need to have but you do need to follow the structure. You see what I'm saying? And so that right there, just knowing that is going to help you be a better storyteller. Now, let me give you another structure that has helped me when it comes to like teaching something, making a point, or trying to sell my product and tell a story. That the point is like, let's say I'm selling something. I'm telling a story that the point is then to get somebody to buy whatever it is that I want to sell. Let me teach you that structure. Okay, so you have somebody, let's say myself, and that person wants to do something. Okay, so there's some motivation there. One of the motivations is internal. Like, let's say I wanted to learn how to dance salsa. Okay, so let's say I wanted to learn how to dance salsa because internally I felt shy, and externally I wanted to impress the girls. Okay, so now you know what I wanted to do. So that's kind of like the setup. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what I tried. So then I tried. So what I tried. I went on YouTube and I started watching videos. So by myself, I was watching videos and trying to dance and trying to watch imitate. But because I was trying to learn how to dance salsa and I didn't have a partner, it didn't end up working out. The next part is the idea. Okay, so idea. So next, I had an idea, which is like, what if I go to a dance studio? Okay, so that was the idea. What if I go to a dance studio? The next section is the conflict. Okay, so conflict. So for this part, I'm going to say something like, I thought of this idea of going to a dance studio, but then I thought, you know what? What if I go in there and everybody knows how to dance, and then I get made fun of, and people are going to see that I don't know how to dance. They're going to laugh at me. I'm going to step all over somebody's feet, and it's going to be bad. So this is embarrassing. So this is going to be the conflict. And then I am going to go to the resolution, and then I am going to say something like, I decided to, even though I was afraid, one day I just went for it. And I decided to go to a dance studio, and believe it or not, like, people there were super friendly. They were all learning how to dance together. Everybody was pretty awkward when it came to the dance floor, so I didn't feel awkward myself when it came to dancing, and I made a lot of friends, and then by the end I had so much fun that I signed up for 10 more classes. And so that is the resolution. Like, I had a great experience. And then I'm going to give you the transformation. So that's the last piece of it. The transformation is like, after taking more than 10 lessons, I've become more confident, and now I have pretty awesome salsa moves. Okay, so that right there is a structure to telling stories. Let me just go from the top and tell you the same story again, now going through the structures so you could see what I mean. So you have somebody. So let's just say I wanted to learn how to dance because I am somebody who's very shy, and I want to also impress the girls when I go out to a party. I didn't want to be the person sitting down and just sitting by myself while everybody was dancing. So what I did is I started watching YouTube videos to try and learn some salsa moves, but I was by myself in the room and I tried learning by myself, but you need a partner, so that wasn't working. So I had this idea, what if I go to a dance studio? What if I learn from a teacher? But after I thought of that, I thought, what if I go there and then people are gonna all know how to dance? They're gonna be laughing at me that I don't know how to dance. They're gonna laugh at my two left feet. I am gonna feel so awkward. They're gonna make fun of me. But I wanted to learn so bad that one day I decided, what, screw it. I'm gonna go for it. And I went to the studio. And at the beginning, I started a little awkward, but by the end, I was having so much fun. I really enjoyed myself. People were really nice. I made some friends. I learned my basic step. And it was so much fun that I signed up for 10 classes. And then I took those 10 classes, and actually that was a year ago now. Now I know how to dance salsa. Now I actually go to the parties by myself. I know all these sweet dance moves, and I've become a lot more confident. Now I'm no longer shy as I used to be. So by me telling the story, now I have taken somebody, if they're in the position that they want to learn how to dance salsa, now I've convinced them to try salsa lessons. I could easily plug the name of my dance studio in there and say, like, This was a client that went to us. If you want to have the same experience for you, come check us out. Here's our dance studio. So you could use stories to sell. You could use stories to motivate. You could tell stories to inspire, to get to teach. Stories are so powerful, and it's something that, yeah, I just really enjoy learning the craft of storytelling. Once again, this is why I'm making these videos. For me, it is a way to practice the skill of telling stories. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have, leave it a thumbs up and leave me a comment if this has resonated in any way, any takeaways for you, how you would apply this. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.